There was a big ginger dog named Soso who lived on a farm with a little girl. They were best friends and spent all their time playing together. The little girl would often take Soso for walks around the farm, and they would explore the fields and meadows together. One day, while they were playing in the yard, a cunning fox crept up on them. It had been planning this attack for days and was very excited when it finally happened. The fox was so quick that it managed to snatch Soso before the little girl could do anything. She screamed for help, but the fox was already gone. When the other animals on the farm heard the little girl's screams, they rushed to her aid. But when they got to the yard, all they saw was an empty leash. The fox had gotten away. The little girl was heartbroken. She loved her dog more than anything in the world, and now he was gone. But she knew that she couldn't just sit around and wait for the worst to happen. She had to do something to save Soso. So she did the only thing she could think of. She went to the one person she knew could help her, the farmer's son, Leo. Leo was a kind-hearted boy who always looked after the animals on the farm. He had a special bond with them and they all loved him. When he heard what had happened to Soso, he didn't hesitate. He knew he had to do something to help. The first thing Leo did was talk to the other animals on the farm to see if they had seen anything or if they had any ideas of where the fox might have gone. But unfortunately, no one had seen anything. The fox was too quick and clever for them. Just when Leo was about to give up hope, he remembered seeing some tracks in the mud near the river. They weren't Soso's tracks, but they were definitely from a dog. And they were big, bigger than any dog Leo had ever seen. "Don't worry, Soso," Leo said to himself. "I'm coming to save you." So Leo followed the tracks to the river and then waded in. The water was cold and murky, but Leo didn't care. He was too focused on finding Soso. He followed the tracks all the way to the other side of the river, where he found a narrow path leading into the forest. Leo hesitated for a moment. He knew that going into the forest was dangerous. There were all sorts of wild animals in there that could hurt him. Not to mention that the forest was dark and scary. But Leo was determined to save Soso. So he took a deep breath and walked into the forest. As soon as he stepped foot into the woods, Leo felt a sense of unease. The trees were dark and foreboding and the underbrush was thick and thorny. Leo had never been in this part of the forest before and he quickly realized that he was in unfamiliar territory. As he continued walking, Leo began to hear strange noises all around him. There were twigs snapping, leaves rustling, and what sounded like voices whispering. All of these noises made Leo's heart race and he started to feel like he was being watched. He tried to tell himself that there was nothing to be afraid of, but the feeling of dread that had been building inside him just wouldn't go away. Suddenly, Leo heard a loud crash in the bushes ahead of him. He froze, not knowing what to do. Then the sound of heavy footsteps began to approach him. Shaking with fear, Leo looked around frantically for somewhere to hide. But there was nowhere to go. The footsteps were getting closer and Leo could hear heavy breathing. Then he saw a pair of glowing eyes peering at him from behind the bushes. With a loud crash, the bushes were knocked over and a massive creature emerged. Leo gasped in surprise. It was the biggest, scariest animal he had ever seen. Its fur was matted and dirty and its claws were long and sharp. But the most frightening thing about the creature was its teeth. They were yellow and bared in a menacing snarl. Before Leo could even react, the creature lunged at him. He screamed in terror as it knocked him to the ground. But instead of biting down on him, the creature nudged him with its nose. Startled, Leo looked up at the creature and saw a strange expression on its face. It wasn't snarling anymore. Instead, it seemed to be looking at him curiously. As Leo stared back, he slowly began to calm down. He realized that the creature wasn't trying to hurt him. Instead, it was trying to communicate with him. Suddenly, Leo understood. This wasn't a wild animal. It was a wolf, and it was trying to help him. The wolf had seen the fox carrying Soso into the forest, and it had followed them. It had wanted to help Leo find Soso, but it had scared him on purpose to see if he was worthy. Leo, of course, had passed the test. The wolf led Leo deeper into the forest, and soon they came across a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a small cottage, and smoke was rising from its chimney. Next to the cottage was a large barn, and that's where Soso was being kept. The wolf stayed outside while Leo went into the cottage. Inside, he found an old woman stirring a pot on a fire. She looked up at Leo and smiled. "I've been expecting you," she said. Leo explained how he had come to rescue his dog, and the woman nodded. "I know," she said. "I sent for you." She pointed to a chair in the corner of the room. "Sit down, Leo. I'll make you something to eat." Leo sat down as the woman bustled around the kitchen. He was still worried about Soso, but he knew that he needed to take care of himself if he was going to get his dog back. The woman made him a hearty meal of soup and bread, and Leo ate until he was full. Then he thanked the woman and went out to look for Soso. The wolf was still there, and it greeted Leo with a happy bark. Together, they went over to the barn and Leo opened the door. Soso was inside, and he was in good spirits when he saw Leo. He wagged his tail and barked excitedly. Leo was so happy to see his dog. He scratched Soso behind the ears and told him how much he had missed him. Soso licked Leo's face and then the two of them left the barn together. They were both tired and hungry, so they sat down next to the wolf and shared some food. After resting a bit, Leo, Soso, and the wolf set off to return to the farm. They walked in silence for a while, but Leo was too happy to care. He was just glad to be going home. When they arrived at the farm, the little girl was waiting for them. She had been so worried about Soso, and when she saw him, she ran to him and hugged him tightly. She also thanked Leo and the wolf for bringing Soso back. From that day forward, Leo and Soso were even closer than before. They had been through so much together, and they knew that they could always count on each other. The wolf also became a regular visitor to the farm. The animals all loved him, and he would often play with Soso in the fields. And so the story of Leo, Soso, and the wolf was passed down through the generations, a reminder that loyalty and true friendship can overcome even the greatest of obstacles.